Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray Reynolds with rayswebinar.com. Let's get a tablet and a pen. Let's write some things down today. And let's have some fun at the same time so we can make sure you get to the American dream. I'm always going to tell you the American dream is at least $1 million. Has to be. All right? For all the things we have to go through, it better be at least $1 million dream. And that's the ultimate goal to obtain. So as we do this, tablet and pen once again, and let's get started with this overview and give you the goodies that you need. And I'm always going to tell you, please don't take those pictures. Write it down. We got to get it here. The ultimate thing is we got to get it in our brain. So here's a phone number I'd like you to write down in the beginning. This phone number is how you can reach us at any given time. It's 800-510-3338. So again, it's 800-510-3338. As we do this, let's keep in mind the information we're going to talk about is protected in many ways as it is. One of the things I've always done for me is I always plan on the problems. You see, no matter what I'm going to do or say through the day, something's going to get in my way. Something's going to screw up. So what I always do, I plan on the problems because it's just going to happen. No matter what you say or do, somebody's going to screw up. So let's do this. Write down two things. One is safety credit. The other is, all right, the line of defense. So you've got to understand something. If you have safety credit, the line of defense, you can see it, believe it, and go get it every time. All right, and you get through it. Now write down, never bring the pain home ever again. As we do this, we all fall down. Yes, I'm going to call it Humpty Dumpty. Everybody knocks us down. You ever notice sometimes they want to keep you down? It's kind of crazy. We're going to tell you a little bit about my journey, and then I hope your journey begins with me today as we go through this. So the first thing I'll start at is getting past go. When I was 3 years old, I got to be with Mrs. Hope. Mrs. Hope got her weekly and monthly checks, and that was great for her. But the thing she did with me is she dropped me off at Redondo Beach Pier every morning at 6:30. From the age of 3 to 9.5 years old, I got to steal and beg off the pier, and I always thought she was a she-devil from hell. And that's just the way it is, because stealing and begging off the pier kind of sucks. So let's do this. I want you to think about what I had to do. One thing I saw is I saw Marina Del Rey, Torrance Rocks, Palos Verdes. What I saw is all the money. So I started to get every magazine, every book I could about rich and famous people. I wanted to know how they did it themselves. How did they get that money? Did someone give it to them? Did they earn it? Did they steal it? What happened? So here's a little bit of things that I obtained for myself. For instance, the Lamborghini collection, the Duffys, the mansions, all right, even breaking world records is kind of fun too. From the helicopters, the race boats, the yachts. So the bottom line is this, and don't forget the Ferrari collection as well in the end zone. So what we got is this, the rules and tools. So I developed something that's called Ray's Rules. I'd like you to write it down today, and let's see if you want to literally, all right, listen, learn, and kind of play. One of the things I did about 43 years ago, I wrote Winning the Game of Business. See, for me, I had to move 24 times by the time I was 11 and a half, and that kind of sucked too. So what I did is I had to turn it into a game. Most people were mean on the 1st and the 15th, maybe the rent, maybe the mortgage or something. All I know is they were mean. One of the things about me, if I turn it into a game, I want to play a game. I read the instructions. I want to basically win. So Winning the Game of Business 43 years ago that I wrote, it made sense to me. So today, let's see if you want to play a little bit with me. Main thing is I want you to understand, after we go through the overview, tools, and rules, I'd like you to join me in my workshop. You see, every Saturday for 43 years, I've done seminars, workshops, and boot camps, helping people and having fun at the same time. I always believe we don't want to bring the pain home, ever. I was kind of lucky, even though I was used and abused as a child. I learned how to connect the dots because a corporation's a legal person. Now, Helping Hand Industries was started years and years ago. It went worldwide. By the way, if you ever heard of it, that's pretty simple. Most people have. It was started by a 9.5-year-old kid. By the way, that was me. I started Helping Hand, and I didn't realize I was going to get credit cards in the mail. Back then, everybody got credit cards in the mail without applying. I ended up getting $100,000 of credit cards in the mail for this company I started as a kid. The family saw that I was living with, and they stole it from me, so I suspended the corp. Then I brought it back again later on down the road. So let's understand something. The ability to see it, believe, and go get it is kind of up to you. I'm just going to tell you flat out, if you give me 90 days, I'll get you onto the $1 million dream. It's not a problem. You see, I've been helping people just like you for seminars, workshops, and boot camps for over 43 years. I'm always going to say raise rules. I'm always going to say never bring the pain home ever again. What happens most of the time with people today, like maybe you lose your job, you got an emergency, you need some money now. First thing you do is you basically run out of time. You run out of money, you jack up your credit, and you're bringing the pain home in about 42 days. And that kind of hurts the family. So let's do this. Starting tomorrow on that tablet and pen, let's write down some goals. First of all, let's get up at 4:30 in the morning. That's right, I don't know why you're sleeping in anyway. There's no reason to do that. As we do this, I need you to get to know me a little bit more. For 32 years, I was the second largest advertiser in Los Angeles before I was in a coma in 2009. And I'm the one who used to help Ken Yarborough, security chief at TRW, and Aspirin years ago, too. I'd like you to Google the word Credit Services Act. Can you do that for me, please? Write it down. It's called the Credit Services Act. It'll take you to the Federal Trade Commission. They'll tell you flat out credit repair is kind of a scam, and they're not allowed to collect money up front. And if you're paying one of them today, you're kind of getting ripped off. It'll even refer to you to the Credit Repair Organization Act. By the way, that even says attorneys can't do credit repair. But it kind of confuses me. They encrypt you, then I can repair you. How does that work? All right, by the way, even the Bar Association says they can't do credit repair. So building a relationship with you and me and building your dreams, that's what I'd like to do. All right, understand, I'm going to always follow through. The bottom line for you is this. Let's remember a couple things. All right, I'd like to repackage your whole life if you allow me to. What that means is pretty simple. All right, I like to repackage everything you do from the house to the car to the bank. All right, I kind of think you're doing it wrong anyway. Sorry. So let's see if I can help you no matter what things are being done today. So as we do this, let's talk about credit. Safety credit. I love credit because why? It saved my life as a kid. All right, it saved my life as an adult. So the difference is we have the ability to use credit the right way, but unfortunately most people are being told different information from friends, family, bank, whatever it might be. Let's give you the truth, okay? It's like the people that say, hey, have money for a rainy day. I don't know about you, my life, it doesn't rain, it always pours. And I always seem to need more than I get today. So let's do this. Let's say today you need $5,000, but you need it now. You got an emergency. All right, but you ask your friends and family, and they say no, so does the bank too. You see, if you had a safety credit card in your hand like this one here for $5,000, guess what? You could have bought time. You could have saved the family instead of bringing the pain home. All right, by the way, the payment, if you had to max out, is $50 a month. You kind of waste that every other day anyway, so you might as well maintain the credit card. The next thing we got to think about is the average person today. Out of the lectures and workshops and boot camps I've done for years, I always ask, do you waste 100 plus a week? And they kind of brag about it. I don't know if you know, but there's 4.3 weeks in a month. That's over $600. So let's look at a Venture and a Venture One card. Each one worth $50,000 a piece. The thing about personal credit, you can't write off the interest rate or the credit card. So what you need to use is for safety credit. Let's say we had to max it out today. If we max it out, the payment is $612.26. For what the average person is wasting, they could have used that credit card and got 2 pizzas and started a business today. You might want to think about this and get the rules and the discipline, because wasting money makes no sense at all. But again, you're going to have to listen and learn and write some things down. So the bottom line is this. Like I said earlier today, please plan on the problems, because they're going to happen no matter what we say or do. Somebody's going to kind of make us upset. They're going to get in our way. But if we got safety credit and we have basically the line of defense, we can see it, believe it, and go get it every time. We got the ability to actually be in charge of our own race, and that's what we're trying to do. So let's keep in mind that today, running your own race, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do when people around you kind of screw you up. What can you say? The bottom line is you're going to have to run that race no matter what anybody says. The ultimate thing is, yes, we're going to fall down. We got to get up again and again. People seem to want to keep us down anyway. For here, what I want you to do is turn off the sound of other people, because you have to run your race for you. As you do this, keep in mind, no matter what anybody says, you can't give up. And sometimes it's pretty hard. It's like anything else. For me, I was told I can't do this or that. But I've heard no probably a billion times in my life, probably more than that. Reaching the goal, believing in yourself. I've done that all my life. So the bottom line is I want you to believe in you. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to if you want to. The difference is how are you going to do it? What are the rules and the tools? And how do you do it? Never hear the word no, you can't do it. Okay, that makes no sense to me. You got the ability to do this right. Now, everyone has an SSN. All right, now why do you got an SSN? You were told to get it as a teenager to get a job. So remember, a Social Security number is an SSN if you don't know that. So what we did is we got told to get it, to get the job. All right, so we should follow like a bunch of sheep, no problem. And now something gets screwed up, we're actually the duck. So I want you to think about your SSN today as we go through this. All right, you have only one or two write-offs of that at all, but you got the ability to listen and learn. And yes, you got a Aspirian, Transue, and Equifax. Oh, goody. And if you don't know the rules and the tools, every time you jack up a card, you keep dropping your score. So we're going to give you the rules and the tools to make sure you don't do that anymore. As you do this today, let's understand something. Okay, the SSN is pretty simple. We were told to get it to get the job, yes. But we are actually the collateral for the United States of America Incorporated, if you don't know this. Ever since Nixon took the gold standard out, they've been printing money 24/7. So the ability is, yes, that's why they talk about the consensus. They need to count the money, and they need to count the people, so how much money they need to print and spread it around. That's what it's all about. So let's do a couple things about that SSN. Let's make a little goal list. So let's write some things down, please. Number one, write down raise rules. Everyone should have up to $100,000 of credit. That's what I believe, no more than that. But the problem with personal credit, you can't write off the credit cards or the interest rate. But you got to have it to maintain a score to get some more like a house and a car. So let's understand, 29%, please. Write it down. You need to maintain every credit card at 25 to 29% period to maintain a good score. Now, if you listen to me, that would have gave you 71,000 of safety credit in case there's a pandemic or you got to buy time. But what most people do, unfortunately, is they take money and credit from the family, which hurts the family, and then they bring the pain home. Sorry to say, I'm going to say that's called silly and dumb. We don't want to do that anymore, please. So let's learn some more rules and tools today. Let's remember something. It's like this. There's a picture of me at 5.5 years old. See, I went down that big hill in Redondo Beach, head first hit the curb. I was told I'd never walk again in my life. I remember the lady that I had to be at, she said, if you have to go pee-pee, ring the bell. I rang the bell so much my hand was numb. I crawled to the toilet and I got up anyway. There's me at coma in 2009. I've been in 2 so far. Now, what am I supposed to do? They were calling it swine flu, pneumonia, pandemic 9, COVID-9. I don't really give a darn what they call it. They end up calling it H1N1 too. You see, there's my yacht, and there's my race boat in my backyard. Where you park yours? You see, being the second largest advertiser in Los Angeles, I knew how to make the money. The reality is this. There's me laying in the coma waiting to die. If I knew someone was going to come on my yacht with swine flu and pneumonia, if I knew who it was, I'd have threw him overboard and fed him to the sharks, because who wants to die the next day? I died at 5:41 in the afternoon. So the bottom line is my life got destroyed once again. But what am I going to do? Go boo-hoo-hoo like some of you? Sorry, I don't do that. I will fight for everything I've ever had. I always have, no matter what. I walked around with an oxygen tank for 5 weeks. They delivered them to the house. That was kind of embarrassing. But what I did is I put my credit score back to an 820, and then I became a CFO for the new corporation I set up. I popped $1 million of credit again. I don't stay down, and neither do you from now on. You met me. We're going to make sure you see it, believe, and go get it. Today, you don't get a do-over. You get to live or die. COVID-19 can wipe you out. You might just think about wearing a mask today. If I would have known to wear a mask on my yacht, I would have put a bag around my head, because who wants to lay there looking there and being dead? I didn't want to die. See, you got a choice today. It takes a moment to die and it takes a lifetime to live. Which one are you going to pick? It's up to you. So as you do this today, don't be comfortable, please. I've never been comfortable a day in my life. Being comfortable, I think that's lazy people. They'll never go get it. All right, the bottom line is what I do every day is pretty simple. I have a routine. I get up at 2:25 every morning. I drop to my knees. I say, thank you, Jesus, for another day. Then I go look in the mirror. I started something when I was 2.5 years old. I call it the raised mirror test. I want you to try this. Go find a mirror today. Stare at yourself for 2 minutes. In other words, stop time. And don't blame anybody else. All right, you got to step up to the plate and be responsible for you. All my life, I've had no one to be able to call and say, help me, please. The bottom line is I got God in me, period. So when I looked in the mirror today, I did the same thing I want you to do. All right, ask yourself a question. Have you completed everything you need to? The answer is no. Is there more to be done? Always. Then why are you sleeping in past 4:30 in the morning? I don't understand that. Every one of you have an idea and a dream. God gave you an idea, a dream, something, a vision. And unfortunately, most of you went to your friends and family and asked what do they think. Sorry, when you're asking what they think, what is it? Now you put a cloud on your own direction. You probably gave up. See, can you do yourself a favor today? Give me 90 days and go, shh. Don't tell them what you're going to do at all. When it works and you go this way and that way and they ask how you did it, just say raisewebinar.com. That's all you're going to have to do. See, what I want you to do is what I do. Chase the money, chase the dream. See, money is one of my top 10 things that I love best. Yes, I love money. I'm not afraid to say it at all. See, I don't have to steal off the pier and eat out of a trash can. I get to feed my family, pay the bills. I get to help people like you. All right? You haven't had a paycheck for decades. I don't want one. My goal is to help people. Now, today, let's think about something. We're getting older, slower. We're not as pretty as we used to be. Go back to the job you hate. That's okay. They're going to fire you eventually anyway. Then you're going to drive an Uber and deliver some damn pizza. Is that truly your American dream? It isn't mine, but it could be yours. You never know. So let's think about something today. When I got to stay with Mrs. Hope, and that's the rich and famous Hope family, by the way, and like I said, she's a she-devil from hell, I heard something because every Wednesday night they had a poker game. At the poker game, they'd say things, and I stood outside my bedroom. It was actually the pantry next to the garage. And what did I hear? I heard a corporation's a legal person. You see, what that took for me, I wrote it down. I circled it 10 times. Pretty simple. I couldn't wait to get to the library the next day, next to the Torrance Police Department, because I heard my way out of hell if I could figure it out. I got excited. I went to the library. I said, how do I look this up? She said, here's a book. I read the book. I was so excited. I wanted the rules. I wanted the steps. I wanted the instruction manual. Then I got pissed off. Literally. All right. You see, even today, is there any book that gives you step-by-step how to play the game of business and win? Everybody's going to tell their story again and again, or there's a secret. That's a bunch of BS. You see, so I wrote the rules and tools that made sense to me to get that first million, first billion, had some fun at the same time. I was lucky. God gave me an IQ off the chart and total recall on some things as well. Having some fun. So here's 12 books and CDs. We call it the Millionaire's Founders Kit. The real estate's kind of fun. I had $841 million of real estate before my coma, all in the corporate structure. I was going to hit $1 billion that year. Unfortunately, I ended up dying in a coma. So there's the financial series too. Don't forget, winning the game of business. I wrote that 43 years ago, so I'm always going to turn it into a game because I don't want to be stressed out like some of you. You don't have to be stressed out at all, but it's up to you too. So what we look at here is pretty simple. It's raise rules. Okay, we look at never bring the pain home. That system there, if you get it all today through the sales team, it's $999. If you do it while I'm doing the webinar, I give it away for $499. And how we get things done today is basically Zelle wire deposit ever since COVID-19. That's how we get paid here. So if you Zelle it this morning or wire a deposit, we'll ship it today. And you'll get it and you'll learn to play the game too. The bottom line is I still want you in my workshop with me. Don't forget 800-510-3338 too. As we do this, let's think about what I'd really like to do for you. I'd like to rebuild your credit to make you a qualified CFO. Now, I came up with a rapid rescore program years ago that God gave me in a vision and a dream to give it to you. Credit lines, corporate articles, books, CDs, and classes. Now you're stuck with me. Now remember something, I'm going to say it again. Every credit card you personally have has to be 25 to 29%. If you jack it up past 29%, there goes your score. All right, I'm going to get you a qualified CFO. That's what I want you to be. As you do this, never forget the rules are very simple and the discipline. Maybe you want to make real estate and you want to make some fun and make some money. Let's think about real estate. All right, I love real estate because I get millions of dollars to have fun. But if I do a flippity-dippity-do, which is a fixer-up today, I'd rather get an apartment complex, commercial real estate, and have more fun. But we might get one of the, fixer-uppers. We might get a duplex, a fourplex, or an apartment complex. That's something you can do too. Next thing is, let's talk about a franchise. You see, today there's certain franchises stay open, like McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, when they got the beef. Next thing is you might think about profit sharing too. Now, since I was the incorporator for a lot of the rich and famous people, I helped them become millionaires and billionaires too. So leveraging money and credit. You see, I can turn these into 99 more, and I can build as much as it takes to get the American dream. But I'm not going to teach you all 84 ways to play that, maybe 3 or 4, that's about it, because that's all you're going to need as you go through this step by step. Now, I want you to think about what you're looking at right now. Pay tax or buy a Lamborghini. That's pretty simple. You see, the bottom line is corporations pay tax based on profit and loss. So if you're going to have to pay tax, you might basically spend some more money in a way. So I'm going to say pay tax or buy a Lamborghini. Kind of fun. What does that mean for you? Look at all the rich and famous people around you that you see, even on TV today. Don't they all drive company cars? They learn how to play the game. But not you. What are you doing every day? All right, you see, you should be getting that car under a tax ID and a fleet price. But today, what you do is you get your paycheck, you get the leftover after it's been taxed. Then you pay your bills, you pay for a car you should not. And most of you, unfortunately, you take the money and the credit from the family and you roll the dice. I'd rather make you a qualified CFO so we can build the corporate credit, let it stand on its own 2 feet. So if you're paying that payment, the gas, registration, insurance, out of your personal income, I hear that's called what? Taxable income. Can you say the word no for me, please? I'd rather teach you how to get a car at fleet price and a tax ID. If you allow me to, I'll show you at the workshop how to do that step by step. Once again, I'd like you to write down never bring the pain home. Once you have the rules and tools, you don't have to ever. There's a science behind all the madness no matter what we do. And we'll understand, like it says right here, they want to count us for the consensus. That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with knowing the truth and the facts. So the bottom line is they got to count us. Okay, 1, 2, 3, here we go. By the way, all right, you got an SSN again. I'd like you to pull it out of your purse, ladies. It's not usually next to your feet. Gentlemen, it's in your back pocket. All right, can you pull it out for me, please? I want you to read the card front and back. And if I ask you, you're going to say you did, but you didn't stick the information in here. So let's understand today. Ray's rules. Number 1, it says do not laminate. It says do not carry with you. And it says on the back of the card it's not even yours. It's right there. So if you have one SSN, that means you're the duck. You only get one chance to try. As far as I'm trying, as long as I'm not dying. If I'm not trying, I might as well be dead. The Federal Trade Commission says 97% are screwed up today. Is that you? Are you the one screwed up today? Why would you steal money from the family? Why don't you learn to play the game the right way? Let's remember, SSN, it's right there. There's the application you filled out. Again, it says it's not even your card. But that's how they count us and track us. That's okay. At least you get 1 or 2 write-offs. But we could do this better if you want to. Remember, you're controlling your SSN with your Aspirian, TransUnion, and Equifax. The rules are simple. It's called Ray's Rules. 25 to 29%, period. You jack up a card, you drop your score, that's on you. Now you're stuck trying to get caught up because someone didn't tell you the truth all along. You got the ability. Now let's do this right now. I'd like you to write down SS4 times 4. There's one right in front of you. It's pretty simple. It says basically when, you can get an SS4 too. So let's understand, an SS4 is on a corporation or divisions. Hardly no liability to you and almost all the write-offs. They can write off the card, the interest rate, depreciation value, and more. It's kind of fun if you want to play that game. The reality is if you want the American dream, you got to join everybody else playing the game too. So let's think about something today. SS4 times 4. I can build you an Aspirian, an Equifax, a TransUnion too. You don't have to steal from the family anymore. Why would you do that anyway? There's a better way always to play the game. So let's think about something today. I said write down SS4 times 4. Can you do that for me, please? Go run and get the tab and pen if you didn't do it yet. So let's think about something. The Federal Trade Commission says that 96% of people setting up corporations today don't do a darn thing with them because they don't know what to do next. Well, I'm going to fill that out. I'll be here next for you. First of all, corporation, you don't name it after you because that's called dumb. You don't name what it's done. It's called double dum-dum. Please write down set up the line of defense. The way I designed this in 1986, by the way. I like you to have 3 divisions in the beginning, one for real estate, franchise, current business. If you allow me to, I can get you a credit card up to $100,000 per tax ID, up to $1 million card too. That means the corporation can write off the interest rate and the credit card from the family. All you had to do is be a qualified CFO. Remember earlier I said, hey, have $50,000 of personal credit. You can't write off personal credit or interest rate at all. All right, so there's no reason to hurt the family and bring the pain home ever again. It's Ray's rules. It's simple. You got an SSN, you get one of these, or SS wants to be the duck somewhere. You like being a quack today? That's going to be on you. Learning how to play the game, that's why you want to go to the workshop with me, because I'll hold your hand every step of the way. The bottom line is, let's look at SSN equals a 1040. SS4 equals an 1120. Here we got 1 or 2 write-offs. Here we got all the write-offs we want. The bottom line is most people screw up their credit trying to start a business. We don't have to do that because you've been doing it the wrong way. We can actually repackage you today. You got the ability to understand something today. If you're watching me on Google, Facebook, or YouTube, that's okay. You're missing the PowerPoint in front of me. You might just want to basically go to rayswebinar.com and get the full overview. But that'll be up to you as you want to. So let's look at this today. This is what I heard at 7.5 years old. This is chapter 18. All right, it's pretty simple. All right, so let's read it together. All right, a corporation's a legal person. So that means a corporation has more write-offs than we as people, by the way. It may sue or be sued. Not to give legal advice, but it's right in front of you. We can all read today. So let's think about something. The United States of America Incorporated, all right, they did their line of defense for themselves called states. Every state's a corporation. And what did the states do? They set up the cities. Every city's a corporation too. So what did they do? They set up the line of defense for themselves, but you haven't even done it yet. So you got the choice and the ability to learn to play this game if you want to. You see, you got to understand it's called we the people. All right? You are we the people. Not only is your constitutional right, even the Supreme Court says so. So you got the ability to step up to the plate and quit hurting your family if you're going to start a business and do it the right way. That's why I want you at the workshops with me for about 90 days. From here, let's understand something. When Nixon took the gold standard out, all right, they got the key to the printing press. They haven't stopped printing money 24/7. But they count us through the consensus, so they know how much money to print and spread it around. There's nothing wrong with knowing the rules and the tools and how to play. Now let's go back to you. Remember, you got your SSN when you were a teenager to get that job? But here's the thing. Ever since Nixon took the gold standard out, Mama just delivered a baby this morning. Do you know what happens? Mama's going to have to get a Social Security card for the baby. That's right. Even the baby's got to get an SSN now. By the way, it's federally mandated. A woman cannot remove her child from the hospital, put the baby in the stroller or the car seat until she signs the SSN form. Why? Because they got to print some more money today. Now you know why you got your SSN. All you got to do is make sure you don't bring the pain home ever again. I told you SS4 times 4. Corporations should be here with the tax ID, line of defense for division, subsidiaries, and more. That way if something goes wrong, we don't have to screw up all the pieces, and we don't need to bring the pain home ever again. All we got to do is learn how to play the game the right way. So guess what you get to do? Stop being the duck. Remember something. I'm always going to tell you your SSN is for safety credit. Safety credit, that 29%, you don't jack it up anymore. Corporation, tax ID, corporate credit reports too. Then we can set up the line of defense and have more divisions as well. And we can basically build a business today. It's not hard to do if you know how to play the game. Remember, business is a game. We're going to learn how to play. So I want you to understand something. We're going to say it one more time and have fun. Stop bringing the pain home. Let's think as an example. For Mr. Trump, years ago, he bankrupted 4 corporations. He never brought the pain home. So could you if you had to. The next thing is rich and famous people file bankruptcy every day. But they stay rich and famous too. We look at Wells Fargo Bank, set up in 1852. They basically stole identity mine twice. You know what? They got fined $3 billion. They wrote it off. And so far, they've closed down 507 locations so far. And they wrote it off and got away with it. You've all seen cities file bankruptcy in the past. How did they do that? It's pretty simple. It's called a Chapter 9 bankruptcy. And from there, because cities are what? Corporations. The bottom line is you can learn how to structure the same way if you want to. All right, unless you like bringing the pain home. See, credit cards start credit score. Credit score gives you more like a house and a car. But a house and a car doesn't do anything for your credit report at all. They look pretty unless you screw them up. So what's the rule? Don't screw them up. That's pretty simple. Never forget Ray's rules. Okay, 29%, you don't go past that. You jack it up, you drop your score. That's on you. Remember, it's 25 to 29% on every given credit card. I got to get you to the workshop. I got to make you a qualified CFO as you learn the rules and the tools. Now, if all you want to do is get your credit score up, okay, if you like, I'll do that for you. But we're going to call it credit rebuilding because we're really going to rebuild it with you. The next thing is I'm going to get you to a 720. I'm going to charge you $499. I'd like to put you in my rapid rescore program. We will pop you up and push you up to an 820. From there, that's $499 too. Now, the office sells it, the sales team, for $998, and that's pretty good for them. But when I do a webinar, I try to discount everything that I do. So let's think about something. At the end of the program, I'm going to give you a $1,000 cash credit card. So write that down, because what I want to do is take away all your excuses. The next thing is, all right, I'm not going to do it for $998. And I'm going to put you in an educational class every Saturday at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I like to give it away for $499. So let's think about this one more time. $499, we're going to do credit rebuilding, give you a cash credit card, twice as much you invested in yourself, back to you, and a credit educational class to help you never screw this up again. And all you got to do is understand, our program is designed to be 90 days or less. And all you got to do right now is call 800-510-3338 while I'm doing the webinar. The bottom line is up to you. We're going to do one thing. Again, take a picture of this page. You Zelle, you wire, you deposit. That's all you got to do. And you're going to get stuck with me. Won't that be kind of fun? Now remember something. I broadcast 3 times a day, Monday through Friday, and all day on Saturday. Always live. I don't like pre-recorded crap at all. So you're stuck with me. Now I'm probably going to tell you through the analyzation, I might have you do 1 or 2 things. If you can follow through, we can get through this together, and that's all we got to do. You got the ability. Now remember, when I was dropped off the pier as a kid, I started studying rich and famous people. And now here's Walt Disney. All right, you see, they filed bankruptcy 7 times in the past. They never brought the pain home. The difference is it's up to you. Now, recently, what they did in Newsweek's kind of fun. They got $1 billion in the bank. They didn't want to pay any tax at all because they know how to play the game. All they had to do is write an IOU to themselves. So I'm trying to get you to the first million, and they're messing with $1 billion and pay no tax at all. Corporations don't pay tax on them, they make a profit. What did I tell you earlier today? S says 4 times what? 4. You got the ability to understand the SS4, almost no liability to you and almost all the write-offs you want. But again, you have to structure the correct way. That's why I do workshops, seminars, and boot camps every Saturday. So you got the choice, allow me, the SS4, to build you an Asperian, an Equifax, a TransUnion too. We can make sure you get to the $1 million dream. Remember what I said earlier, personal credit, you got to have it. All right, to get more, you got to maintain that score, but you can't write off the card or the interest rate at all. When it comes to the corporation, I want to do like I designed in 1986. How about we get 8 credit cards per division? 9 lines of credit, supply credit, vendor credit, marketing credit, lease credit, gas cards, cash cards too. You see, the ability, they get to write it all off as they build their American dream versus stealing from the family. I want to make you a qualified CFO, Chief Financial Officer, for that corporation you're going to set up today. Now let's talk about Mr. Buffett. Everybody has it wrong. See, I studied his father first, and I studied him. I don't know if you know, he owns 100 plus companies today. He even owns his favorite 10. Ketchup, Geico, Coca-Cola, American Express, Duracell, Dairy Queen, See's Candy, Bridge Jewelries. He even owns Fruit of the Loom. The man's playing the game today, but why aren't you? You can play the same game too. As an affiliate, I have 115 creditors on my dashboards. I would tell you not to ever use authorized user, because that's just crap. All right, and don't go get a bunch of trade lines, someone else's history. That doesn't work at all. You got the ability to become a qualified CFO. All right, we're going to work together to get you through this. As you do this today, remember something. I'm the guy that invented 113 ways to daisy chain credit. I can get you 99 cards after every card you ever get, but I'm going to do it on the corporate credit. See, the corporate credit is the only thing we get to write off. So we're going to call it Raise Rules today to make sure you understand. We're going to make sure you know how to play the game. Now, here's where you're going to go if you have any intent to rip anybody off. You see the bars in front of you? See, I'm the first person that would basically testify against you in a court of law if you're going to defraud or rip anybody off. You're not going to be a crook on my dime. The bottom line is we're going to see you get through this. Now, you just had 3 divisions float in front of you. Now, I want you to put a corporation on top and write down line of defense. So let's think about it. If you did it my way, the corporation divisions have credit to finance the business. What if something goes wrong in one of those divisions? What are we going to do? We're going to learn the 3-step. Now, we could call it the Donald Trump step, Disney step. We can call it City step. We're some famous people too. All right. Hey, let's call it a Wells Fargo step. See, this is all they had to do. It's pretty simple. They disconnect, they isolate, they incorporate, try to save it if they do. They can't save it, then they file bankruptcy on the piece, keep the other pieces, and never bring the pain where? Home ever again. You got the ability if you really want to play the game. All right, but again, you're going to have to learn to listen and learn, and you're going to win. I'll make sure you win almost every time. Now let's talk about you and the house you purchased for you and your family. Sorry, I'm probably going to say you did it wrong anyway, so don't be offended by that. The bottom line is this. You should write down Raise Rules. And I want you to think about something today. All right? Escrow works for you, but you let them tell you what to do. You should have said escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow recorded in a trust. You know, I've been in front of thousands of people at a time, and I asked the audience who has a house. They raised their hand. I said, who has a house and a trust? Hardly no one raises their hands. I don't understand this. You see, today, if you die, it's stuck into probate. Nobody's getting nothing. If somebody sues you, they screw you, they take it away. It's just flat out facts. You got the ability to protect you and your family. If you don't listen, that's up to you. You got the forms on Google. They're actually free. Now, let's talk about a house we're going to fix up today. And remember, I turn it into a game, so I call it a flippity-dippity-doo. The next thing is this. You're going to hire a contractor. That contractor is going to hire the subcontractors to stand outside Home Depot. They're good workers, but guess what they're going to do when they cut every corner they can and they slip and fall? They're going to sue you and take everything you got today. Sorry, like I told you in the beginning today, you have to plan on someone trying to take it away or get in your way. I want you to put every property you ever do in a division. It's called quit claim deed to the division. I want you an assignment of equity. What happens next is they try to sue you, they can't sue you at all. At the end of the day, they literally do get diddly squat. Why not? You got to understand to protect your ass. And never bring the pain where? Home ever again. See, this is called an irrevocable trust. I have a special workshop that I do for another company all the time. And it's kind of fun. So the difference is, why don't you protect your assets and step up to the plate and make sure your family wins? But that's up to you. We got to fix up that property today, but unfortunately, there's a couple of you that tried to do peekaboo with the IRS and made a mess. I talked to one last week. He says, I don't want to pay tax, Ray. I said, hey, you're just a dummy. You see, corporations don't pay tax till they make a profit. You're trying to do something on the side. Are you kidding me? The only way you can play this game is play by their rules and tools and master those. So let's understand something. Go to irs.gov, download the form called 656 of 433A and B. Get your butt back in the system, do it right, and get your COVID-19 check, which you can't get today because you've been screwing it up anyway. So the ability to do this right. When I was a kid, they even teased me and called me OPM. So let's do this. Let's have 4 more divisions. Can you write them down for me, please? Let's have a division for carpet, appliances, fixtures, and wood. See, what we're going to do is go back to the manufacturer and save up to 70%. We're going to get a net 30, 60, or 90 days. We're not going to use our money to fix that property anyway. Why would we want to do that? That's no fun. When the property is sold, escrow will pay off all the debt. Now here you got $200,000. Do not act like you're rich. That'll fit my jacket pocket, by the way. So let's think about something today. I'll bet you every one of you had $10,000 to $100,000 in the past, and some of you pissed it away, and some of you are broke today. Ray's rules, write it down again. Leveraging money. Please write down borrow money's not taxable. You haven't learned how to play with the line of defense, but you can. It's kind of fun. So let's think about this, leveraging money. Before my coma, my office in Irvine was only 22,000 square feet. I had offices around the globe doing $1.2 million a day plus. The bank would call me every morning and say, Ray, how can I help you? In other words, they're going, You see, when you got money, they know your name. You got no money, they don't know who you are. So let's play this right. If you had any money, all right, from that real estate or whatever you got, we're going to show you how to put it in the right CD, the line of credit, the bank account too. What we're creating is 3 reference points. Those 3 reference points become $600,000. By the way, when they make the bank verify itself, they have to say yes. I like yes, by the way. And don't forget, banks get to borrow from the feds times 10 and loan back 5 to you. Now, if you did it my way at the workshop, that could be 5 times. By the way, that's $3 million today. Borrow money's not taxable, so we take $2 million of that and go buy a McDonald's today. Get a big fry, a Big Mac, and a chocolate shake. Would you like one too? See, it's not hard to play the game. You just got to listen and learn, and I'll help you, and I'll do the work for you too. Beating your own doubt. You're going to have to run your own race. You're going to have to get out of probably your own way. Cash flow free per time. You got to write that down. But here's the problem with most people. Okay, I hear people going blah, blah, blah every day. You got a choice. You can look up C191D. A corporation can loan out money 8 different ways. Let's take it off of a credit card, and all we have to do is maintain the payment. What if we listened and we took $50,000 off that card? Payment's only $6, $12, $26, and we loan 5 people $10,000 today to save their house. We put a second trust deed on the house. We do what's called basically a homestead blocker I invented years ago. Chattel Mortgage 2, the UCC 1. Then we call that company, it's my money now. You see, they'll factor the money, hand it right back to you anyway in 12 hours or less. What did I just create? Using a corporation's credit card? I just created cash flow of $2,449 positive cash flow per month. If I took $100,000, that's $4,800 a month. If I took $150,000, that's $73.47. You got the ability to create your own cash flow free per time through the corporation with the right structure starting today. You have to learn how to play the game because business has always been a game. The ones who play learn how to win. The ones who don't play, they just get to lose. See, here's a couple goodies I got. Now I'll show you mine, show me yours kind of thing. You see the mansions, the helicopter, the yacht. I got to get you past go because I think you're kind of stuck. But the bottom line is going to be up to you if you want to play with me. You see, I used to call this one God's gift. Okay, this is where I park my race boat and my yacht in my backyard. Where you park yours again? You see, I like having fun, and I always want to help people. All right, you see, here's the helicopter. It used to be on top of one of my yachts. The Lamborghini, the building too. All right, wouldn't you like all those goodies today? Now, I want you to do me a favor, do yourself a favor. I want you to change your driver's license, please. That's right. Every time you whip out your driver's license and you write that check or use a debit card, you're saying, here's where I live. I'm not home right now. Come rob my house. Oh, sue me, screw me, take it away. Sorry, you're going to have to step up to the plate. I want your driver's license changed like yesterday to a P.O. box or a mailing address. See, in California, we have the Schaefer bill. All right, so it's the Driver's Privacy Protection Act. Every state has a way to protect you. But if you don't do anything, that's on you. Never bring the pain where? Home. Now, here's a problem with most of you when you buy a car. What did you do? You let somebody with an ugly shirt and an ugly tie sweat you for hours on end. You lost 5,000 plus, up to 9 inquiries too. Isn't that fun for you? See, when they hand you the paper and they say, we need your permission to run your credit, if you're going to do it your way, at least when you sign it, I want you to put right there one thing. This allows one inquiry only. Take a picture. They do more than that, you let me know. I'll get you $25,000 in cash. Now, here's the thing. Cars should be purchased under fleet price, under tax ID. That's all you're going to have to do. Get to the workshop, and I'll show you step by step. It's kind of fun. Now, here's a problem I'm going to have with all of you today. Let's say you went to the grocery store, you went to the bank. Okay, you bumped somebody's car, a little bumpity bump. What's going to happen next? All right, they're going to ask you for your driver's license, your insurance, registration, please. Remember the driver's license? I don't want it to be your home address. The insurance? Are you paying that insurance out of your taxable income called a paycheck when a corporation could pay for it and write it all off? Are you actually the registered owner, so you're the duck? You know what they're going to do next? They're going to call one of those bloodsucker attorneys on TV. They're going to sue you and screw you and take everything you got because you didn't listen to me. Let's understand something today. Ray's rules are pretty simple. See, the registered owner should always be a division of a corporation and not you. The lien holder could be the corporation too. So at the end of the day, they can't sue you, and at the end of the day, they're really going to get diddly squat. Why not? You better learn how to protect your assets and never bring the pain home ever again. You see, I didn't have anybody in my life. I had to know how to protect everything I ever get. Unfortunately, in that coma, my wife signed a POA. That's okay. See, look what I did. July 3rd, 2009, I took the yacht from my backyard. There's the address. Check it out. I used a corporate credit card. I wrote off the card and the, all right, interest rate too, and even the damn yacht. Why not? Well, that's how you play the game. But then we went and watched the fireworks. The next morning, I got H1N1. They finally want to call it that. So I get to die in a coma. If I knew somebody had swine flu and pneumonia, I would have threw them over and fed them to the sharks. Because who in the hell wants to lay there being dead while someone's stealing your life? But what did I do? I didn't say boo-hoo-hoo. I got that oxygen tank. You see, I got no mommy, daddy to call, nobody to help me. So I put it under my arm like a damn football. I put my credit score back to an 820. Then I made myself a good qualified CFO, and I popped $1 million of credit again. I don't stay down. There's no reason you have to stay down ever again. You're going to learn the rules and the tools and the discipline. God's using me to help you today if you pay attention. That's kind of fun. See, I made a promise in that coma that I'd help people the rest of my life. That's why I'm here helping you. One of the fun things for me is I named my son and my daughter after me. See, my legacy will live on, called the Reynolds University. We got choices. Now today, if you want to get a corporate setup, if you have one, you paid $30,000 plus and got a stock kit, but you didn't learn how to play. Let me do this for you. How about I customize the articles, the house list, the tax ID, and I give it to you for $999. Now, I want you in my workshops for 90 days. I want you in the corporate setup, hearing it again and again. Remember today, if you watched your favorite movie, I'll bet you can say the lines before they do. That's the ultimate thing, putting it in the brain. I want you in level 1, so you learn how to set up the line of defense again and again. The workshops are $999. Together, the office sells it for $19.98. But wait, there's more. I love that from our TV show from years ago. What I like to do, again, is I'll give it to you for $17.99. I'm going to make sure you master the rules and the tools of the workshop with me. But I'm going to hand you $5,400 of cash credit back to you. You see, that's 3 times your investment. I want to take away all your excuses. And if you don't want to play with me, then you just like to be stuck. That's on you. So the ultimate thing is this. The rapid refresh and the credit building too is all together today. It's $17.99. All you got to do basically is understand something. Zelle, wire, deposit. And that way you get to play with me starting this weekend. But again, you got that phone number again. It's 800-510-3338. You got to call them right away if you want to play. But the problem is your lack of commitment. You've all wasted or pissed away thousands of dollars, and you probably have nothing to show for it either. What's holding you back is you. You see, let's look at a building across the street from basically South Coast Plaza Mall. Got it down their tax ID and even the car too. See, it's called reaching the dream. Think and be the impossible. I've done it all my life because I've heard no a billion plus times. Raise rules will get you there. That's all you're going to have to learn. Never bring the pain home again. 90 days or less. All right, like I said, I'll help people. I've been helping people for 43 years. Seminars, workshops, and boot camps. You're stuck with me, and that's kind of fun. Now, motivation, I have a big problem with that. I listen to it every morning. I really do. But at the end of the day, if you don't give me rules, tools, and a blueprint, instruction manual, at the end of the day, it's still blah, blah, blah. So I'll show you some of my goodies. Show me yours. You see, at the end of the day, you got a story to tell too. We all do. And the bottom line is up to you. So let's think. If you allow me to, I'd like to get you up to $100,000 of personal credit. Put you in the rebuilding program. Now remember, on the credit, you can't write off the cards or the interest rate at all. Then I'd like to get you a corporation and divisions and up to $1 million. Would you get to write off all that? I want you to stop being stuck. Now what's next is pretty simple. All right, it's me. You're stuck with Ray's rules and tools and me every weekend having fun with you. I just want to get you all the knowledge you need that you've been missing for years ago. Remember what I said in the beginning today? I want to repackage your whole life, your house, your car, your bank account too. But that's what I want to do. The reality is it's going to be up to you if you want to play. Now let's do this and remember something. Like when I wrote those books and CDs years ago, I was getting out of hell because it didn't exist. Okay, so the bottom line is you can do the same thing. All right, but like I said, I want to be a game because I don't want to be stressed out. So remember, the 18 books and CDs to you today, all right, the office sells it for $9.99. That's okay. If you get it through me before I'm done with the webinar, it's $4.99. All you got to do is Zelle it, wire to deposit. That's all you got to do. So as we go through this, like I said earlier, the corporate setup is $17.99. I'm going to give you $5,400 of cash credit. All right, 3 times you invested in yourself, back to you. All the goodies in the workshop, the rapid rescore and credit building as well. The next thing from there, it's pretty simple. You Zelle, you wire, you make a deposit. So let's remember, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution turned corporations into people. See, I love the United States of America. But like everything I've ever done, I look at the rules, the tools, the blueprint, I memorize them, I know how to play. I like to win. So the bottom line is you want to win too, right? Nixon takes the gold standard out. Look at them. They're hugging each other at the printing press. You know, the USA, they manage 50 states. All states are corporations. The states manage the cities. Those are corporations too. They even have their own little bankruptcy called a Chapter 9. Check it out. It is public record. So you got the ability to understand Ray's rules and tools. Never have joint credit. It makes no sense. Buying a house, it's easy. Escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow recorded in a trust. Corporation, you never name it after you because that's called dumb. You never name what it does. That's double dumb. Then you always have credit up to $1 million and have some fun. But again, I want you to have a division for real estate, franchise, current business. If you set it up right, you don't have to bring the pain to the corporation or never to you. That's called set up the line of defense. The ability to see it, believe it, and go get it every time. You got the ability to do this. And like I said in the beginning today, plan on the